Welcome to the 2019 Fall Commencement Ceremony for the Kansas State University Polytechnic campus. Please rise as we honor one of the oldest known traditions in commencement exercises, both for Kansas State University and for institutions of higher education around the world. This evening's ceremony will begin with bagpipe music from Selenian Terry Ferguson. Our procession begins with the Kansas State Polytechnic Mace. The mace, a symbol of university scholarship and integrity since the 11th century, reminds us that education is one of the most cherished attributes of a free and democratic society. The mace is carried this evening by Bill Gross, aviation professor and chief pilot. Following Professor Gross, Richard B. Myers, President of Kansas State University, Dr. Alicia Starkey, CEO and Dean, Lee Gatton, tonight's keynote speaker and 1971 alumnus, and Amy Button-Rentz, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association. Dr. Kurt Barnhart, Associate Dean of Research and Engagement, Dr. Terry Gaddert, Director of the School of Integrated Studies, and Dr. Fred Guzik, Graduate Program Director. The Kansas State Polytechnic faculty follows the platform party. They are led by Faculty Marshal Dr. Richard Zajac. Please honor the graduating class as they now enter. They are led by Student Marshal and Student Governing Association Vice President, Corey Brenneman. Will the audience please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Dr. Christopher Smith?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. Thank you.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Regents and the faculty and staff of the Kansas State University Polytechnic campus, I extend a warm welcome to our candidates for graduation, family and friends, and to all of our guests. May this be a night you will always remember. Graduating class, you have accomplished a considerable amount during your time as a student, and we are here to recognize your commitment to making the college experience matter. Thank you for your diligent work, involvement on campus, and expression of purple pride. This night belongs to you. So let's begin the celebration of your many achievements and of your future. Dr. Barnhart, will you introduce our first speaker, please?
Kansas State University is a land-grant public research university committed to teaching and learning, research and service to the people of Kansas, the nation, and the world. Our collective mission is best accomplished when every member of the university community acknowledges and celebrates the dignity and value of diversity. We each have our own story that shapes who we are and who we will become in the future. As part of a long-standing commencement tradition, Kansas State Polytechnic invites a member of our Student Governing Association to share their story and provide personal perspective on graduation. Tonight's student speaker is SGA Vice President Corey Brenneman. A native of Wichita, Corey is a senior studying professional pilot and is currently working on his commercial certificate. Prior to arriving at K-State Polytechnic, Corey attended Wichita State University, where he was active in Delta Upsilon and earned a bachelor's degree in business administration with an emphasis in marketing. After starting his career in the marketing field, Corey was laid off at his job, opening a new door to go back to school. As a resident of the air capital of the world and having previously worked in the business side of aviation, he knew his next chapter would focus on flying. In addition to being active in student government at K-State Polytechnic, Corey is also a member of Alpha Eta Rho, an international professional collegiate aviation fraternity. He helps manage the campus intramurals programs and works here in the Student Life Center. After graduating, Corey plans on joining the airlines and making a home with his fiancée in a larger city. It is my pleasure to introduce Corey Brenneman.
I apologize, I've got a lengthy speech. All right. On behalf of your student government and campus leaders, I want to first off congratulate each and every one of you. It really is a remarkable accomplishment that you've gotten. For those of you that know, my name's Corey Brenneman, and those of you that don't, that's okay. It's not going to matter much after tonight. Tonight I'd like to talk a little bit on perseverance. For many of you, this is your first degree, and for a handful of you, this is your second or third. Those of you who already have a career lined up, that's amazing. That really does take a lot of work. And for those of you that don't, trust me, you must persevere. Personally, I've already received a marketing degree from another university. I thought I would be doing that at this point in my life. If you'd have told me back in 2016 that I was going to be halfway through my commercial pilot license, I'd have laughed at you. Marketing at that point was my dream for my career, but dreams change. Circumstances change. You can ask any of your parents, your grandparents, any of the faculty here, if they've ever had to deviate from what they were expecting and completely change lanes, and almost all of them are going to say, yes, I have. And sometimes those changes in life, they open up new doors that we never realized. When life gives you those changes, it's about staring them in the face and taking them head on. It's also about relying on your support system. I was blessed to have a fiance, and yes, I've been engaged this entire time, who 2 weeks after me popping the question, she was my #1 fan on my decision to come back and go to pilot school. I've always had a passion for aviation. However, I never could have dreamed that it would take me the direction it has. But life changes, circumstances change. You have to be able to adapt and maneuver around whenever a situation arises. I've had a professor and a mentor who always spoke on grit. I never really thought much about it at the time. However, being a returning adult, it seems to play a larger role in my day-to-day life. For those of you who don't know, grit is defined as courage and resolve in a situation or in a sense of strength and character. Courage and resolve. Its definition literally means to stand steadfastly in a situation that scares you. To be able to do so will only further your ability to stand up for yourself in times of adversity, and will give you the confidence to push yourself farther and harder than you have before. Being a student on this campus, I've seen many students overcome and endure through times of struggles and hardships, from failing a prog check or a check ride to failing a physics exam, or at least I have. After you take that moment and eat the tube of cookie dough and you pull yourself up, you look back at the mistakes you made and you realize that you have to do better next time. This graduating class has done just that. You've all had that brief moment of failure, but you've all pulled yourselves up and you've done better the next time. You've made it all this far, and to do that, you're crossing the stage to prove it. Congratulations to the fall class of 2019.
Thank you, Corey, for those words. This evening's keynote speaker is a member of the K-State family and is someone very familiar with the Polytechnic campus. He is a 1971 alumnus of the Electronic Engineering Technology Associate Program when the campus was known as Kansas Technical Institute. He has been an instructor in the campus's former Applied Business Software Certificate Program and was invited to teach in the Computer Systems Technology Program as an assistant professor. He is a 2012 K-State Alumni Fellow and currently serves on the K-State Polytechnic Electronic and Computer Engineering Technology Industrial Advisory Board. Tonight's keynote speaker recently retired after more than 40 years in the computer engineering field. He has experience as a research engineer in home robotics at GRD Robotics, software test management at Sprint Nextel, business computer management at Philips Lighting, and production engineering at Texas Instruments in the aerospace industry. His bachelor's degree is in electronic engineering from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas, and he earned a master's in management information systems from Friends University in Wichita. Tonight's keynote speaker resides in Overland Park with his wife Beverly, who is a class of 1986 and a 2015 K-State Alumni Fellow. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our speaker, Lee Gatton.
Well, thank you. I want to again welcome the parents and the families and the graduates. And to the graduates, I will say this: you did it. You made it. You're here. You've accomplished a major task in your life. Now, there will be more accomplishments in the future, but for tonight, savor this accomplishment, because tomorrow is the start of the rest of your professional career. Now is when you will take on new tasks, and these tasks will be bigger, more adventurous, and sometimes maybe a bit daunting. But know this: what you have done here at this school, the credentials that you have learned here at this school, will serve you well throughout your career. 1971, when I graduated from this school, it was called Kansas Technical Institute, and while I was here, I laid the foundation for my career. Whatever success that I have had in my 40 years in computer engineering is due to and based upon my work at this school, and yours will be also. And I can tell you, because I graduated from here, that you are well prepared for the next challenges in your life. Now, another thing I want to remind you of, and I know you already know this, and that is that technology is always changing and always advancing. And it does so now at a faster pace than it did 40 years ago when I graduated. What was cutting edge then is very slow and clunky and very oh-hum today. But the skills that I learned here, the same skills that you have learned here, allowed me to stay current and to continue to advance in my career. The skills that I'm talking about are studying, communication, problem solving, and working hard. First, I want to mention studying. Resources for learning about new technologies, new techniques, new thoughts, new avenues are much easier to access than they were when I graduated. Seminars, panel discussions, lectures, entire college courses in the latest developments are available online. Always take advantage of these resources. These will assure that your skill set will be up to date and that your skills will continue to grow. And by doing this, and this is important, by doing this, you will always be a valuable asset to your employer. And employers always keep their most valuable assets. Second thing I want to mention is communication. Now, when I was here, I did not pay that much attention to the emphasis that was placed on communication, oral communication, written communication, presentations, lab reports, papers, all of these were required. I did the best that I could with my abilities, and I tried to learn from my mistakes, which were regularly pointed out to me, generally in the form of very, very bright red ink on my papers. Yes, that's the joke. You can laugh there. However, when I went out into industry, I found out very quickly just how important correct communication, both written and oral, how important that is in the workplace. One of the first things I noticed was that not all my coworkers, and this includes technicians and engineers, they did not practice this skill of communication, these skills that you and I learned here at this school. The second thing that I realized was these communication skills, the ones you've learned here, will get you noticed in your job. The person who can express themselves clearly and concisely will always stand out in management's mind. They will be the ones assigned to create and submit reports that flow up to upper management. They will be the ones assigned to the important projects. They will be the ones who are invited to meetings with higher management to present and defend the findings. Every time this happens, you will gain notice, and correspondingly, the value, your value, to the company will go up. Now, it's important to understand that this is true whether you go in, follow a management path in your career or a technical path. Now, I chose to follow a technical path. Now, during my career, multiple times I was offered management positions, but I declined because it just wasn't something that I wanted to do. And again, the point that I'm making, though, is that communication skills that you have been exposed to here at this school will serve you throughout your career. The second thing I want to talk about is problems, or actually I guess it's the third thing, problem solving. The ability to solve a problem. You've been exposed to that process here, the process of accurately and concisely defining a problem, the process of examining a problem from all aspects and devising a solution. You've been doing that in your studies here, but not only in the technical problems that you've been presented in your classes, but also in your time management. Remember, time management is a problem to be solved. What do I have to do? When do I have to do it? And how am I going to get it done? As I've said, you've been exposed to this, and it is important to keep using this skill to solve problems. Problem solvers are always in great demand in industries of all types. And when you go out to industry, you will notice that not all your coworkers will continue to practice this skill, but those who do practice this skill, this problem-solving skill, will always be noticed. The more you practice this skill, the more valuable you will be to your employer. And as you practice this skill, you will continually be given newer, bigger, and more important problems to solve. And by doing this, the value to your employer will continue to rise. Now, the last thing I want to mention is hard work. Now, there's many aspects and many interpretations to the phrase working hard. Tonight, I'm only going to address one of those, and that is to do more than what's required. That is, doing more than what you're asked to. Doing more than what is just required. When you're working at your career, you'll hear phrases from your coworkers, something along the lines of, they don't pay me enough to do this job, or I'll do more when they pay me more. Now, I heard these comments when I started out in industry, and I heard them all the way through my career. That attitude is a problem, and it will keep you from advancing. And by advancing, I'm talking about increasing your worth to the company. Now, after about 10 or 15 years of working hard, doing more than I had been asked, I finally came to a realization, and that is this. I'm paid today for what I did in the past. I will be paid in the future for what I do today. If I want more in the future, I have to do more now. To put this in context for right now, you've worked hard these last few years to earn your degree. Your expectation is that you'll be paid in the future for your work here. You spent the last few years willing to work without pay because you were investing in your future. And what I'm saying is continue to invest in your future by doing more than what is just required. You will also find out by doing this, you will always stand out from the rest of your coworkers. And by default, you will be increasing your worth to your employer. So in conclusion, I want to again say that you are prepared for your new adventures, your new challenges. By using and honing the skills that you have learned here, studying, communication, problem solving, working hard, you will meet these challenges. The world is full of problems to be solved, and they will be solved by the graduates of this graduating class. Thank you.
Lee, the college is so fortunate to have alumni such as you and Bev engaged with our campus. And you just summarized probably about 4 conversations I've had just this week with faculty, staff, and students, and what we try to engage here on the Polytechnic campus. It's an honor to have you with us tonight, and we thank you for your thoughtful words of wisdom. Thank you. We have 6 students graduating with high honors tonight, a distinction represented by their purple and white cords. Please hold your applause until all of these students have been recognized. Students with a 3.95 or above K-State academic average are designated as summa cum laude. If present, would these students rise and remain standing? Austin Ryan Coleman. Students with a 3.85 or above K-State academic average are designated as magna cum laude. If present, would these students rise and remain standing? Zachary Jason Kirstein, Caleb J. Strom. Students with a 3.75 or above K-State academic average are designated as cum laude. If present, would these students rise and remain standing? Napoleon Owingelfuck, Jeremy Neely Deckinger, Nicole Marie Johnson. Please join me in recognizing these students who have attained this high level of academic achievement. Now it is time to honor the graduating class who will honor us in the years to come. Kansas State University President Richard B. Myers is here tonight to confer degrees for all graduates. President Myers, will you join me at the podium to confer the degrees?
Thank you, Dean Starkey. It's my honor and privilege to recognize the graduates of our Polytechnic campus. Will all degree candidates please stand and remain standing? By the authority of the people of Kansas, the Kansas Board of Regents, recommendation by the faculty, and upon completion of all degree requirements, I am pleased to confer upon you the respective degrees you have earned at Kansas State University. At this time, you may move your tassel to symbolize your formal graduation. Congratulations.
Chad Bailey, Professional Master of Technology. Nicole Marie Johnson, Bachelor's in Airport Management, cum laude. Abdullah Ahmed Al-Karisi, Bachelor's in Aviation Maintenance Management. Gabriel Sambo Luguango, Bachelor's in Aviation Maintenance Management. John Walter Renzi, Bachelor's in Aviation Maintenance Management. Eric Allen Eastland, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Adam Joseph Emmond, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Max Ingthavongse, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Zachary Jason Kirstein, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot, magna cum laude. Joseph Samuel Morse, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot, minor in Aviation Safety. Caleb J. Strom, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot, Associate in Applied Business, minor in Business, magna cum laude. Ryan Threlkill, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Anton Martin Zuplena, Bachelor's in Professional Pilot. Austin Ryan Kuhlman, Bachelor's in Computer Systems Technology, minor in Business, summa cum laude. Kylie Ray Huffman, Bachelor's in Digital Media. Justin Mahan, Bachelor's in Electronic and Computer Engineering Technology. Caden Michael Kemp, Bachelor's in Mechanical Engineering Technology. Trung Nguyen, Bachelor's in Unmanned Aircraft Systems. Napoleon Awulflak, Bachelor's in Technology Management, cum laude. Davis Raymond Crawford, Bachelor's in Technology Management, Associate in Applied Business. Jeremy Neely Deckinger, Bachelor's in Technology Management, cum laude. Hayden Robert Hake, Bachelor's in Technology Management.
Graduates, the time has come for you to begin a new chapter in your lives. This ceremony is called Commencement because it is a time for you to end this phase of your life and begin or commence the next. You are accomplished and competent. You are ready to take your place in a society that needs you, your intelligence, your creativity, and your enthusiasm to make a difference. You are prepared to take control of your future. Continue to challenge your own status quo as you have been challenged throughout your education. And always remember that you are now a member of the elite Kansas State University alumni. Amy Button-Rentz, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association, has presented you with an official university gift placed under your chairs at the start of the ceremony. Ms. Button-Rentz, would you like to say a few words to the graduates?
Thank you, Dean Starkey. I'm excited to join you today with the honor of being the first person to welcome you into the alumni family of Kansas State University and the K-State Alumni Association. We are excited to celebrate with you and those who have supported you along this journey. As an alumnus, you now join a K-State network of more than 280,000 graduates and friends. The Alumni Association will be your link to your alma mater for life. Our mission at the Alumni Association is to lead and inspire lifelong involvement that will benefit Kansas State University and all members of our Wildcat community. Our core values guide us in our mission to help you stay connected with Kansas State. Our most important value is link. The Alumni Association provides the lifelong link that alumni depend on to remain connected. You can stay in touch through hundreds of alumni activities held on campus, around the country, and internationally. We want to keep you in touch with you and be in service to you no matter where you live. Another value is tradition. You will likely celebrate a few traditions this weekend as you sing the alma mater or take KSU photos at your favorite spot on campus. The final value I'd like to talk to you about today is purple. For K-Staters, it's more than a color. It's a symbol of pride, connection, and family. When you see someone in purple, wearing a K-State class ring, or with a PowerCat license plate on the back of your vehicle, you will feel that sense of family. In recognition of your graduation, your college and the K-State Alumni Association are providing you with a complimentary one-year membership in the Alumni Association. We hope you will enjoy the membership benefits and continue to be an active member after your first year. Your membership is important to us and your university. We can't be you without us. K-State alumni are among the most loyal in the nation. In fact, our membership ranks #1 in the Big 12 for the percentage of graduates who are members. That loyalty is shared by generations of K-Staters who have the same passion for K-State that you feel today as you receive your degree from one of the finest universities in the nation. The Alumni Association is pleased to present you today with an exclusive alumni business card holder, and as Dean Starkey mentioned, it's under your chair. As you go through life and your titles and addresses change, please be sure to keep us updated. We want to make sure you are always connected to your K-State family. Congratulations and go Cats.
Parents, family, and friends, you have supported these students emotionally and often financially. Without your encouragement, this moment would not have been possible. Some of you have traveled short distances, and others of you have traveled halfway across the world to see your loved one graduate tonight. Will the parents, spouses, significant others, children, relatives, and friends of the graduates please stand and be recognized for your contributions? Faculty and staff, through dedication to your own academic excellence and your passion for sharing knowledge, these graduates have learned and grown on both personal and intellectual levels. You are the foundation upon which these individuals will build their professional lives. Will the faculty and staff please rise and be recognized for your significant contribution to these graduates? As another important piece of Kansas State University tradition, please join these new alumni and me in joining the alma mater. The song was selected in 1903 as a result of a campus contest and was written by Humphrey W. Jones, who was from the class of 1888. Guests, you can follow along on page 3 in the commencement program. Please join me.
Full well, 'tis not in forest nor yet in dell, ever it holds me in magic spell. I think of the alma mater. KSU will carry the banner high. KSU, long, long may the colors fly. Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
Graduates, we've talked about the next step in your journey, and I just want to remind you that graduation is not yet official until after finals week next week. So, if you would like the diploma for your diploma cover, please come back and do your best next week. And again, congratulations to all of our graduates. This concludes the 2019 Fall Commencement Ceremony of the Kansas State University Polytechnic campus.
The audience may remain seated during the recessional. We invite you to join us for a reception honoring our graduates immediately following the ceremony in the concourse. Thank you for attending tonight's commencement.